Hello and welcome to this week's Wireless LAN News Desk. My name's Tom Carpenter and it is April the 6th, 2018. This week, I wanted to give you an update on CWDP and CWAP, the two certifications for which we just performed a job task analysis in Las Vegas. Now, I gave you a brief update last week on what a job task analysis is all about in the development process, but I wanted to give you more information. After a week to think about everything that happened in the JTAs last week, I'm more excited than ever about the new CWAP and CWDP certifications. Now, first of all, the new exams, when they are released later this year, will be CWDP-303 and CWAP-403. So you know those exam numbers ahead of time. But I want to give you some idea about the process we go through. So right now, in the weeks after the JTA, we're finalizing objectives out of that JTA. So these objectives are what the exam will be based on, as well as all learning materials. The objectives will be finished by the end of this month, and then they'll be made available later in the summer time frame to the general public. So the objectives are really based on what the job task analysis said that a wireless analysis professional or wireless design professional needs to be able to do to perform that practice or role. And so therefore, these objectives then help you learn the things or know the things you need to learn in order to be able to perform the roles that were defined in the job task analysis. Once the objectives are done, everything else can begin being developed. So we'll develop exams. There will be several subject matter experts involved in either writing exam items or reviewing exam items in order to find those final exam items that will go into the pool of 60 exam items available for an exam when you sit down and take that actual exam at a Pearson VUE Testing Center. And then we'll move on to developing other learning materials like courseware, study guides, e-learning, practice tests, and so forth. With all of this development, there will be CWNEs and subject matter experts involved all throughout the process. For example, with the study guides, we'll have CWNEs, at least 3 of them, helping us to write those study guides. I'll be acting as the general editor across the board for most of these things, making sure that there's consistency across all of the materials, making sure that the way we refer to things, for example, is consistent throughout those materials to make it an easier learning process for you. But I will not be personally involved in writing every word in all of these study guides and so on, so that we can get you the multiple mind quality that comes from having multiple CWNEs work on these projects for you. We'll also have a CWNE that's working as the technical editor for the study guides, as well as reviewing the courseware, even the practice exams and so on. The one area where you'll still get to see my face, of course, is the e-learning products. So I'll be the one presenting on the CWAP and CWDP e-learning materials so that you'll be able to learn the information in that way. And of course, the courseware will be made available to all of our learning partners around the world so that they can run official CWNP courses on CWDP and CWAP. So as you can see, it's an exciting adventure over the coming months. And we'll see these products coming to market starting in September and leading through October of this year. Of course, at the Wi-Fi Trek Conference in San Diego, California in October, the brand new CWDP and CWAP courses will be offered as pre-conference courses. So if you want to take those new courses and have excellent CWNE instructors teaching the course for you, make sure that you sign up for those pre-conference training courses at the Wi-Fi Trek Conference. For example, we'll have Peter McKenzie teaching CWAP at the conference, and we'll have a professional CWNE teaching all of the different courses that are going to be offered there at Wi-Fi Trek. Now, I do want to remind you that the call for speakers for Wi-Fi Trek is open through the end of May, so you can go ahead and go to the Wi-Fi Trek Conference website at conferences.cwnp.com and sign up to be a presenter at the conference. We would love to have you present. Your presentation submission will go through a speaker selection panel, and they'll choose the speakers for the conference this year. So we're very excited about that as well. Now, to wrap things up, an interesting little bit in the news, New York City is planning to do light pole, street light Wi-Fi. So what they're saying is, we've already got these poles, we've got electricity run to them, we've got the basic components to be able to do Wi-Fi across the city here, so why not have lights that also have Wi-Fi? I think it's a great idea to use the existing infrastructure in order to deploy the Wi-Fi. So there are various different vendors involved in those projects. I mentioned it a little bit on Twitter this last week, and some of those vendors responded. So expect to see an interesting project there, and we may see that rolled out throughout other areas of the country as well. We also have Google this last week saying that they're going to be putting Wi-Fi on more school buses so that the kids can use their Chromebooks and other devices and get onto Wi-Fi on their way to and from school. Some of these children in rural areas are on the bus for 1.5 hours a day. And so that's going to be a big advantage. They can do schoolwork on the way home from school or even on the way to school. We also saw some city buses in Cincinnati getting Wi-Fi this last week and the announcements about that. So a lot of exciting things still going on in the Wi-Fi space. So keep learning and be ready for this great profession that's going to grow in the coming years. Thank you very much for viewing today, and I'll see you again next week for the Wireless LAN News Desk. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you can be notified when we post the News Desk every week.